Hey guys, Josh here with Fortner's Frontier Leather, and today I just wanted to talk to you about what you should be looking for when you're looking to buy a handcrafted leather belt. So let's go over to the work table and we'll take a look at some. Okay guys, so we're at our workbench now. What I've done is I've made two different little short belt samples so I could show you the difference in belt construction that you may see and tell you what you should be looking for if you're looking for a more fine leather belt or a higher quality handcrafted leather belt. This one is, I made it exactly like the ones I've seen at the flea markets that are on the lower end, that are cheaper. And this one is one of ours. This is the standard. This is made exactly the way we make all of our belts. The first difference you'll notice, and these belts may look very similar right now, but there are some very real differences, and I'm going to explain them to you so you know what to look for. On the flea market belts, they'll use these cheaper center bar buckles. There's nothing wrong with center bar buckles, but they usually use these cheap ones. One day when I was at work, I had on a belt that I'd bought from a flea market, and they used one of these, and my belt came off. When I looked at it, this center bar had broke completely off the buckle, and then I was stuck at work the rest of the day with no belt. So this is why we don't use those buckles. We use these very heavy duty one-piece roller buckles. So that's one thing you should look for when you're looking for a belt. Make sure it's a good quality buckle that's not going to break or fall apart, in a short amount of time. The next thing is the way the buckle is attached. A lot of the flea market belts, they'll use these snaps. Snaps will also wear out and break over time. Even if you're not taking that buckle on and off and switching it out, just the wear and tear of wearing it and the tension on it all the time, it's eventually going to break, I promise. I can't tell you how many times people have brought products to me from other people, the knife sheaths and belts, where somebody had used a snap and they needed the snap replaced, and then they'd come back a few months later and need another snap replaced. It's because these snaps wear out and they break, and they will. You want the buckle to be attached permanently, like we do with rivets, or if you want the buckle to be replaceable and you want to be able to switch it out, the best way is to be done with Chicago screws, not snaps. The next thing that you'll notice is, look at how thick this is. When you put that on and then you put the other end of the belt through the buckle, I mean, that's a lot of leather stacked up on top of each other right there. I mean, let's see, that's almost an inch of leather right there. Now when you get that on and you get that all through your belt loops and everything, it's going to be really uncomfortable. And that's because they just folded over and put the snap in. What higher quality, or I should say finer, leather work will have is the skive down sides, where the belt has gone through the buckle, and then on this end I've actually shaved that leather down to half of its thickness, half of its original thickness. Now these two belts are actually cut out of the same height. They're actually the exact same thickness in the middle. It just doesn't really look like it here because that has been shaved down. This belt is going to be a lot more comfortable, and it looks a lot nicer with that skive down side. The next thing you'll notice is the holes. These holes are round. There's nothing really wrong with round holes, but what finer leather belts will have is oval shaped holes. And that's also because when you put it through the buckle, those oval shaped holes are a little longer, so it allows more room for the prong to lay down flat in those holes instead of sticking up when you have your belt on. And it's just another thing that makes it more comfortable and makes it lay a little more flat and look a lot nicer. And the final thing, and to me this one is a big deal, is the edges. You'll notice on the flea market style belt, these edges are rough and unfinished. They feel rough, they're squared off, and it's just an unfinished look. What you want is beveled edges that have been slicked and coated, and that is to keep, with a belt like this, moisture, liquid oils, and things are going to get into that leather and soak in because these edges aren't finished. The slicked and coated edges are protected. Those fibers are laid down and they are coated with an edge coat or an edge paint to protect them so things don't soak down into there and the edges don't fray out and the belt just look really bad. It looks nicer. It makes it easier to go through your buckles, through your belt loops, and it's just an overall better finish, and it's just a lot nicer. So that's about it. I hope that helps out some. That lets you know about some things you should be looking for when you're trying to get a good handcrafted leather belt. And thank you for watching, and thank you for your continued support.